This is Scott Spears, and today I'm joined by two of Primrose's prized employees, Carrie Hutchman and Brenda Donegan. The discussion today is going to revolve around Brenda's, well, Brenda, why don't you tell them? I'll give you the floor here. What happened to you recently? Went to Arizona.
Right. I was named as Corporate Employee of the Year for Primrose.
How many Primroses are there?
I'm not sure.
There are 26.
That's quite a few.
Yes.
Now, what areas do they cover?
We're pretty much spread all over the country. I'm from Wasilla, Alaska, and then we're as far east as you go.
How many employees are there?
We have just over 800 employees now.
And this is one award given out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did this come about?
Well, it was about 2 or 3 months ago. As a company, we decided, the home office decided that they were going to start rewarding the building as well as a corporate manager of the year, as well as an employee of the year, and as well as giving away 3 corporate scholarships to employees. And so the whole program just started this year. So we were supposed to get applications in, about mid to late January. And I felt, as we were doing this, the employees themselves can nominate themselves for a scholarship. And then they're endorsed, of course, by their manager. And then those are passed on to the regional, and then they go up the chain. The position of Employee of the Year is a position where the manager picks someone in their own building who they nominate then to the regional office. The regional office then looks at that region's applicants and then forwards one to the home office, and then they look at those applications and pick one. As far as the building of the year and the manager of the year, those are nominated by the regional position and then sent forward to the home office. So when those applications came out, it didn't take but an instant for me to think of Brenda, because we are so pleased with our life enrichment program here. The Primrose Bell Ringers, have performed over 130 concerts in the last 2 years, and it has truly enriched the lives of our residents. It's a standout program, as well as the Primrose Peddlers, our crafts, our travel program. It's our life enrichment program is endless. So when you look at all the time that it takes to do the Primrose Ringers with the practice and all those kinds of things, I thought it was a hands-down nomination that we would be bringing home a prize. So sure enough, I submitted it, and within probably a week, I had been made aware that that application was then moving forward to the home office. So I knew that Brenda, I don't even think I told Brenda, but I already knew that that application had gone on to the home office. With that application, it was a 5-part application where you had to look at, how do they fulfill the mission of Primrose? How are their interactions with other staff, the interaction with families, the interaction with the residents, as well as I sent along different articles from the newspaper about the Primrose Ringers. I sent along their DVD from their most recent appearances on TV here in December, as well as just a couple comments from other families and things like that about our program. So I felt that we had put together a pretty strong packet for the application, and sure enough, it wasn't long after that, just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were in the kitchen. I'm just rambling on, Scott.
No, it's good. It's a good story. Tell it.
We were in the kitchen, and we all pitch in here and help at mealtime, and Brenda was drizzling chocolate, I think, on a dessert, raspberry sauce, on a dessert, and the phone rang. And realizing that Aberdeen, South Dakota is an hour behind us, so they don't realize that it's lunch. So I answered the phone, and it was our president of the company letting me know that we had won the Employee of the Year spot. And so I passed the phone to Brenda, not tipping her off who it was or what it was, and she thought it was somebody canceling for an activity in the afternoon, and it took a little while for it to register with her. What she received for that was a lovely trip to Arizona to Talking Stick Resort in Scottsdale, a spa day, as well as a cash prize. So we were in a lovely dinner. We had a very nice time, and it was part of our first annual leadership conference that we're going to start doing with Primrose as well. So Brenda, flew out on Tuesday through Thursday, and so we had a nice time.
That's nice.
So I'm pretty happy. I could relax. I knew we had a prize even before we left.
That's nice.
And nobody else knew they had a prize. We knew. It's like knowing you've won an Oscar before you get there.
Brenda, how was Arizona?
Arizona was beautiful, warm, much warmer than it was here, and no water.
No water?
Oh, yes. When we left, that's when we were having all the floods. And I remember as Jim was driving me to the airport, it was like we were both sitting on the edge of our seat watching for water in the roadway to make sure that we were going to be able to get through it okay. And I think Carrie probably had the same thing the previous morning. It was a little scary driving in the dark that way, but it was very nice out there.
We left in the middle of the Monday morning storm. We left in the middle of the tornado sirens. And the downpour.
What a time to leave.
Yeah, well, and I love to fly, ha. So I'm thinking, they'll never take off, please, please, please. And we go, and the guy's like, you'll just be bumpy for a couple of minutes. I was like, oh, please, no. But we took off, and it was a nice flight about 20 minutes in, but I was nervous the whole time. But, water was rushing just everywhere across the roads here, and we were right in the middle of, sirens are going off. I was...
What a way to get in a plane.
A complete panic.
My.
But boy, it was in an hour, and the skies were clear on that flight, and it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful.
Glad it turned out okay.
Yeah.
Brenda, when you were in the kitchen and you picked up the phone, take me through that.
Carrie said, Brenda, it's for you. And as she said, I'm thinking as I'm walking to the phone, who's coming this afternoon or tomorrow? And they're canceling on me because we'd had bad weather, throughout the winter. I thought, oh dear, what am I going to do next? Are we going to play dominoes? Are we going to do Scrabble? Are we going to do a movie? Trivia? What are we going to do? So that's running through my mind. And he said, Brenda, this is B.J. Schnappauer. I believe is how you say his name. And I'm going, yes? I thought, well, I don't know him. And then he told me he was the president of Primrose, and he had called to congratulate me, to tell me that I'd been selected as Employee of the Year, and they were going to be taking me to Arizona to receive the award. And I'm going, really?
Yeah.
I'm still in the back of my mind filtering through what he's saying to me and what I had been filtering through, thinking ahead of what can I do. But I said, oh, gee, what an honor. And then he kept thanking me over and over for what I do for the residents. And I said, I love what I do. I love our residents, and I love what I do here. So
why do you love it so much?
I don't know. I just feel like it's my niche.
You left a very public job with the Marion Star to come here. Any regrets?
No.
Why do you feel this is what you're meant to do after having these other great experiences in life?
Well, I believe that God has a place for you in every season of your life, and this is where He intended for me to be right now.
And you're also a resident.
Yes, we are.
How's that?
So far, it's working fine. I know Carrie, when we mentioned that we were wanting to move here, had some concern that we would be bothered by the residents. And it's not. It's not been that way. They're very protective of me and my time away.
I've noticed that the times I've been here. The Bell Ringers have probably become a lot of great programs were mentioned there, but the Bell Ringers, I think, is the standout. How did that start?
Well, when I first came here, the very first day, I had a meeting with them to see what their interests were so that we would know where to begin. And at the end of the hour or so that I met with them, it was music and faith-based activities. And I had the bell choir up at my church with the children for a while, and I suggested that. And I borrowed our bells. I said, well, we'll try it. Borrowed the bells, and we used them. And oh my gosh, the first day they fell in love with it. It was like, oh, you mean we can really do this? At first they thought they couldn't. I really assured them that they could tell their primary colors and could see me that they could play. And I know that there were some who doubted that, but once we started, they saw how easy it could be for them. And it's become something that they really look forward to. And they really look forward to going out to do programs away from the building. But that's how we started. We borrowed the bells, and then we had a benefactor who came along and bought us our own bells. And we've added to the music. Our repertoire is over about 60 songs right now.
And they've been at all the great events. I mean, downtown events, park events. Great, and it must be great for the residents to get out like that and be in front of people. That's fun.
It is, and they especially, of course, I drive the bus too. So on the way back after we've been to a performance, I hear their conversations. And because I have my back to the people, I don't get to see their reactions, but they do. And that's what their conversations are when we come back. Did you see so-and-so? And how they sat there and with their eyes closed, and you could just tell how much they were enjoying our music. And or did you see so-and-so crying when we played like the old Red Cross, or, you know, certain songs that would probably have a little tenderness to them. And so they get to experience that. I don't, but I'm happy for them that they do, because then they really feel that it's been a worthwhile ministry, if you want to call it that, to go out and be able to perform for others.
Carrie, I want you to describe Brenda.
Describe Brenda?
Yeah.
Oh, Brenda is a very loving person. She's very nurturing. She's kind of the mother figure here, I think. I think for staff and even the residents. True. You're laughing. You know it's true.
They call me their mother.
They call her their mother. This, Scott, one of the things that you asked Brenda a few minutes ago is, how did she go from such a public position? And, Brenda and I have known each other for 1,000 years. And, as Brenda started to kind of think of a transition in her life, and, this came to me as a natural fit, because if you think about everything that Brenda has ever done, between her years being a Sunday school teacher and all the programs she did with her own children, and then you look at the newspaper, and her life, all of her stories were always about life and things that people were doing in their lives, be it travel, be it their hobbies. And the senior section was really, I would say, her love, her true love. So now, all of a sudden, she was able to come into a world and do hands-on everything she'd written about, or everything she'd ever thought about. So it's just been one of the most natural fits for her. When she decided to become a resident, which was perfect, because then she didn't have to drive back and forth anymore, to Prospect, because, she's got the residents out and about at 5 nights on campus and all those kinds of things. Well, then, then she was suddenly driving in the dark at 9 or 10 o'clock at night to hop back here at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was a natural fit for her to become one of our villa residents. But, I was just concerned that she was never ever going to get to leave work. But just like with many of us who work here, it's not work, it's a lifestyle, and she doesn't really feel that her day ever has to stop or end. So it's been a natural fit. But I don't think I could sit here and actually sum up Brenda Donegan.
Here, Brenda, we'll part on this question. Carrie talked about a lot of the jobs you've had, teaching Sunday school, working here at Primrose, the Marion Star, and you don't hide your age. And living here in a villa would be an age-appropriate thing. Why does somebody who's past conventional retirement age keep such a vigorous schedule?
I don't know. It's just the way God made me.
Would you ever retire?
I told Carrie when I first came here that my
Carrie
goal was...
shaking her head no.
I don't think she ever will. Yeah. She'll always, even at some point, maybe someday it'll just be the bells. Maybe someday it'll just be crafts. But Brenda Donegan will always have some. She'll be doing something here forever.
I think so.
I've tried to back off at things at church, and they just keep taking me back. But I do focus mostly now on here. I have backed off on a lot of community things that I've done. Simply because I see the joy that it brings to them, and that's why I'm here. That's my purpose. It's my mission.
The best part for me was, I only got to randomly have lunch every month or every other month with Brenda, or have Brenda come to something and run into her at different restaurants and those kinds of things. And the neatest part of Brenda coming to Primrose was I get to be with her every day. So it's been nice.
Well, Brenda, I can't think of a more deserving person. You're a friend of mine also, and it's such a great pleasure to sit here and talk about this. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this was, and Brenda said this in her acceptance speech. It was more, this was a word on behalf of the residents and all the staff, everybody who helps Brenda, and Brenda accepted it on behalf of everyone, and I think it says just wonderful things about everything that's going on here at Primrose.
What a great facility.
Yep.
Scott Spears with Brenda Donegan, Carrie Hutchman, WMRN 1490 since 1940.